Once upon a time, in a bustling neighborhood, two neighbors lived side by side. Welcome to the vibrant community where we find John and Mike, two personalities as different as day and night. One day, they decided to embark on an adventure. Off they went into the forest, the sunlight dappling through the leaves as they ventured deeper into the wilderness. John, being as meticulous as ever, pointed to a tree laden with fruit. "This is perfect," he exclaimed. "Animals love to eat fruit, so they'll come here tonight." But Mike, the ever-spontaneous and creative one, had a strange idea. "That sounds good," he said, "but let's try something different. You put your trap on the ground, and I'll put mine way up high in the tree." John thought this was odd, but agreed. They set their traps and returned to their homes, each hoping for a delicious meal. That night, John couldn't stop worrying. "Traps are supposed to go on the ground, not in trees," he fretted. His sleep was restless, and at dawn he snuck out to check his trap. The forest was silent, except for the occasional hoot of an owl. He crept towards his trap, his heart pounding. Relief washed over him. It was empty. This meant his plan might still work. He carefully reset the trap and rushed back home, feeling hopeful. Meanwhile, Mike slept soundly, sure his high-up trap would be a success. At sunrise, John raced to Mike's house. "Come see," he called excitedly. "Let's check our traps." They hurried back to the forest. The ground trap was empty, but to their surprise, a big deer was hanging from the high-up trap. "Wow!" John exclaimed. Together they carried the deer back to the neighborhood, but Mike, wanting to keep the deer all for himself, rushed to the wise parrot's house. "Wise parrot," he said, "we set traps together. Mine was high in a tree and his was on the ground. This morning I found a deer in my trap. Can I keep it?" The wise parrot, known for loving sweets, eyed the deer with a grin. They said. "Bring me the village's tastiest cookies first thing tomorrow, and the deer is yours." Disappointed, Mike left. He couldn't afford cookies, and he wanted to share the deer anyway. Just then, he met the wise rabbit, known for fairness. The rabbit saw the frown on his face. "What's wrong, friend?" the wise rabbit asked. Mike explained about the deer, the high trap, and the greedy wise parrot. The wise rabbit chuckled. "Don't worry," they said. "I have a plan." The next day, the wise rabbit and Mike went to the wise parrot's house together. "Why did you take so long?" the wise parrot squawked. "You lose the deer." The wise rabbit, calm and collected, replied, "We apologize for the delay, but we were watching something amazing, a fish swimming in the clouds." The wise parrot scoffed. "A fish swimming in the clouds? That's silly." The wise rabbit smiled. "Perhaps," they said, "but is it any crazier than a deer hanging from a tree?" The wise parrot was speechless. Shamefaced, they finally admitted that John deserved the deer after all. Everyone cheered, forgetting the deer and for the wise rabbit's clever trick. And so, the day ended with a valuable lesson. Play fair and don't be greedy. Sometimes the simple way is the best way.